Well, welcome back to another episode of corru.observer. Depending on how long this takes, possibly the last of the daily, so I will definitely obviously be returning for future updates. I will also be doing Frame. I will also be doing Evil Mode 1. That'll be an episode that will come out. Probably, I think. I don't know. Maybe stream something. We'll figure out how I dabble in it all. And what other sort of situations. That said, I've been putting this off for a little bit while. Sorry, Akazet. I'll make sure it's good. I'm gonna just enter it, and it's just gonna be entirely broken and ripped to shreds or whatever. And then Akazet's gonna kill us all. That might be bad. In that case, that is not how I expected any of this to go. So if that is how it goes, I would be surprised. Better Times, though, is what this is called. Better Times. I don't know what to expect from it, other than it's just embassy pre-discovery, you know? We didn't even see anything cool. It's just like, I don't know, we're moving in, we're just having fun. There's recreation. Let's see. Embassy 1. Better Times. I pull my head from its resting place upon the face stand, releasing it into the air above my shoulders. No need or time to examine its work too closely. I am anxious enough without fussing over the specifics of a long-forgotten face. The memories of our final preparations are clear enough in my mind, yet the urge to double-check it all over again is so strong. See, I'm just hoping Kazuki's here. This is my last chance for Kazuki content. The chance of any failure at this point is near impossible, yet there's a quiet crawling of uncertainty behind my thoughts. Is it not wrong to celebrate before the spire's function has been fully confirmed? We're celebrating a polygonation spire's erection? Kazuki and Bosco would hardly think so. True, those are the two that were talking with each other. I say those are the two as if I don't know who Kazuki and Bosco are. As if I'm recognizing them. Sorry, no, I meant in the following embassy memory. It's interesting that they're a duo. They're mentioned in duo twice now. Kazuki and Bosco. They seek to celebrate every step on our path. Regardless, the others await. I have taken long enough. Time to set out with freedom. Yay! Freedom! Embassy memory! Freedom! I hope when I redo the embassy, and when they redo the embassy, so that I redo the embassy, that I get to keep my freedom. Yay. I love freedom. Okay, look, we're just gonna look at this. This is like all boring stuff. Boring stuff we've already seen. Yeah, this is where I put my face to restore a larval face when the flesh nostalgia strikes. Is that what I've done? I took my face off my face stand? Whatever. Let's see who's around. Vakoa! You wanna talk to Vakoa for me? Nope. Not doing that for me. Amazing. It is locked. Oh, hello, indistinct person. It is locked. Break in. Break in. Akazet. It is locked. It's so locked. I can't see. Okay, who are you again? Kivku. Fascinating. I definitely knew because of your Kiv receptors. This one? I was about to say this one doesn't look locked, but they all look locked. There'd be a different color if they weren't. All right, move friend. Take me to recreation. I assume. Jutku. Yeah, awesome. Hey, move friend. You're gonna attack us once soon, but also help us escape the final embassy. Cause this is all gonna collapse. Where to? Let's go recreation. I love that area. A lower away recreation hub, please. Okay. Path I took to the road. Yes, we know all of this. If I'm going to Better Times, I'm getting myself an orange simulacrum. Kazuki! Gakfu! Guys, these really were Better Times. Oh look, right as I'm saying Kazuki. Kazuki's going, Aki! The blink I enter, she shouts and waves from the bar friend's post. Kazuki and Gakfu lounge and wait. The others are not here. In fact, it is empty. The entire segment's crew must be out already. It is for the best now. It is embarrassing enough that Kavik lets that name slip occasionally. Oh, Aki. You and Kazki must be a little close, yeah? This must be post jellyfish memory. I approach the giggling Tur, a familiar teasing waggle in her receptors. Gokfu greets me with a little receptor wave. Hey, Gokfu! And quickly settles it back into a forced resting curl, restraining her true reaction to my short name's use. Oh, her true reaction. I remain as outwardly unaffected as I can. Oh, that's so cute. Hello, Kowski, Gokfu. Where are the others of our team? Hangar, Kazki subdivision. I think they wanted to get a few things on the way up. Yes, we are taking my vessel to the festivity. That larval imprint really is adorable, Aki. Used it again. If you are ready, we should get going. I will reserve the move friend. The system is a little strange from all the departures. Oh, so we're attending a festivity and we're taking Kazki's car? And of course, I'm wearing my larval imprint. Yes, I saw. And Kazki just keeps calling me Aki. Best not to get stuck waiting. Gaku sets her simulacra before the bar friend, setting off. She hides her reaction to Kazki's comments well, giving me the opportunity to approach the smug Tur more sternly. Though my head must rise some distance from my shoulders to be on equal level. I told you not to call me that in front of others, Kazki. Disapproval is clear enough in my receptors, if not my voice. But perhaps not enough of an edge to elicit a proper reaction. For she still speaks playfully. Okay, Aki-zet. Fine. I just thought it might help you unwind. We? We thought it might help you. Who's we? Was Gokfu in on it? All of this polygonation finalization has been hard business. I appreciate your concern and care, Kazki. It has been truly. But it is hardly over. We still need to ensure that the dual synchronization is... In a quick movement unbefitting Kazki, she grabs my head out of the air, and with it in her claws, scurries off with the move friend. I mean, that's what happens when you have a floating head, kind of. That's your fault. Ah, Kazki, you... If you cannot relax by your own volition, I will just have to ensure you cannot do anything else. Fun friend? Guide my body to the move friend before she leaves without it. Okay, Akazet! Distantly, I feel it scramble after us. Stream damaged, advancing to next coherent data. Festivities. I assume we're skipping to the festivities? Emerging from the move friend, my receptor's back in a resting coil. Oh. New area? Kazki's hangar subdivision is already prepared with an opened wall. Is this where her vessel is? Bosco and Tazik's conversation is indistinct from this distance. Obscured by the wind until we approach. Hey, Tazik! Hey, Tazik. I hope, Kavik, hi. Suspicious. Hey, Bosco. I love these characters. Roots link up with a directional spire in an underground curve. It should provide better support while working the same as any other polygonation configuration. Of course, that part of it is not my field. Never had the mind to deal with the dual plane. You heh. A lot of people in this game heh. All performance reports I have seen are in line with the others. Your plan proved to be perfectly effective. Tazik caps their discussion, the two directing their attention to my approach. Kavik stands to attention, having been distracted by assist. Hey, Aki! A harmless moniker under most circumstances, but an indistinct murmur from Gokfu to Kazki behind me suggests conspiracy. I fucking knew it! They're conspiring! Hey, Kavik. Kavi. Hey, Kavi. We're gonna call you Kavi. her insistence on Kazuki adopting its usage will be a grave error. Bosco gives a kind nod of his receptors and greeting. Ready to go? Hello, my friends. Yes, let us board. Let's go! I want to drive! I want to drive! Let me drive! Better times. The festivities! Music! We're gonna get music? Wait, this is Kazuki's vessel! Wait! We're gonna see another vessel? Wait, it's like Pilot, but the other Pilot, but it's pink, and then Kazuki's is here all lovely like. Decoration, decor on the side. What is this? Some kind of decor. The team clambers into the vessel, and after a blink, Kazuki's pilot speaks. Hello, friends. It'll be a bit of a trip, so settle in. Hers is so friendly. I assume we're going to the Pollination Spire. Sounds like we are celebrating its erection or something. Hers is so friendly. Mine just says Velzy. Wait. Sparse idle chatter passes the time, but much has already been said throughout the gaze. Kazuki lingers near the pilot's cyst, receptors half closed in annoyance. Her head slowly shifts side to side. One of her tells. She just communicated with someone internally. Interesting. I cannot help but overhear when she speaks to the pilot. Now? Well, we should... Yes, go ahead and align with the spire. It will not take long. Okay, Kazuki. She turns to... Whoa, that was a interesting image in the background there. She turns to address the team, finding me nearby. With a kind dip of her receptors, they soon settle into a more open state. Everyone! We will be stopping briefly by the connective center of the Pollination Spire. Oh! Kavak's attention is drawn in the form of delight. Yet that insidious crawl returns. It seems Vakoa noticed some reception delays. Vakoa. I would love to meet Vakoa. And so she thinks there's a diagnostic cyst attached somewhere still. But it is gone just as easily. This fault lies not with my team, nor anyone really. A simple mistake. Interesting. She wants us to find it? It could be smaller than a cow stick. Her head sways from side to side again, receptors fidgeting. The delay this could pose to our celebration threatens even Kazuki's chair. Well, she seems certain they would be easy to find, and we are the closest airborne vessel right now. Fine. Perhaps we should wager over who can find it first. Ha. Alright. Tazik's Dame. These really are better times. Look how much Kazuki is in better times, by the way. Pattern? Kazuki really is better times. I don't care if she's suspicious due to her having been absent for the whole, I wonder who on the team could have sent me that mysterious cyst who cares about me and wanted just the best for me, but also mistakenly made Akaset really worry. If so, Kazuki, I wonder what side of the conflict you're on. So we're going to the connective center of the spire to find a diagnostic cyst attached somewhere still. Okay. The spire is using lighter weight cord, so a bridge and tunnel directly to the center from the air should be trivial. No conflict if I guide the pilot, right? Bosco draws close to the pilot cyst, downing a connective cyst. Distantly, Tazik and Gaku discuss their wager. No, go right ahead. And Akaset. It is only as she looms nearby that I realize the tight coil in my receptors. Can I be held at fault for worrying over our work so much? Should it not be the default state when so many resources are poured into it? Yeah, you're gonna get a time stopper soon. She said everything else is fine. Integrity, directional connectivity, dual routes. So do not worry so much. That is good. Bosco, Tazik, you are most familiar with the organs of these spires. May I rest the search upon your shoulders? Bosco waves a receptor back at me, affirmative. Of course. Of course. Me too. I've never once been inside a connective center, but I would like very much to beat Tazik. I laugh, relieved, just as I feel the vessel's movement halt. Then lurch slightly as a dock is formed with a spire outside. Its hatch brightens and the search team sets out. May Velzy look away at last. A lot of stuff here. Lovely vessel, Kazki. Time to set out. Oh, I get to explore it! Okay, thank goodness. It's bigger than mine. Holy. Kazki living the life. Is it because you appear on TV? I thought you like appearing on TV, don't you? Look at these sofas. Actually, to be fair, we're also notably missing furniture from our dull vessel because it was like eaten. And this is only so intact because Akazet fought to protect this memory so much and killed the whole lab over it. And by Akazet, I mean the, you know, Kazki Simulacra. A variety of flavors, some with psychoactive effects. Ooh! Includes Velk's blood, Zoust! Orange juice, a black fungal flavor from Kuzazny. Ooh. Kazki, I want psychoactive effects. Kazki, you're so cool. Guktik ward. Wait, that time with the Guktik. Imitation of postmortem Guktik, associated with hunting prowess. Are you a hunter, or is this just like a flex, a rich flex? Social surface predator, gray formed out of exoskeletal pieces by pack. I see. Hey Kavik, both of you. Mark of Oltazny. Yes. Approach. Kavik and Gaski linger in the vessel. She's always been an attentive listener, drawing long talks even from Tazik. So naturally, if she allows him to start as she has, Kavik's extensive archival work allows an endless stream of knowledge to flow forth. It's empirical in a way. Have you ever heard the stories of tides nearly making it through a trip? Like through the Dole trip? No. That is possible? I approached to listen more closely, earning a small receptor wave from both. For all of his silly knowledge, there is plenty still of interest. And that is certainly a peculiar thing to mention. Hi, Aki! Hi, Aki! Hello, my friends. Just waiting. Please continue. Anyway, it is possible. Very. It's just exceedingly rare. But with all of my downtime in the archives, I have come across a few recorded instances and reviewed their studies. Each time it was a very simple object the bearer had come to know wholly. Well, I knew my receptor shells pretty well. No, as in every detail unmistakable inside and out down to composition. For example, the most prominent case was a pariku. A pariku? Tiny sphere of Velk bone, melted into near perfect shape via acid mixture, used in Dole tithing. The sort offered at Zavazny orbit ports, you know. But this one in particular was created by the once Tur who carried it into the contrivance. Carved from Pari, then melted and shaped imperfectly by their own labor, the study noted. Velkbone? Yeah, Velkbone. When they emerged from the contrivance's opposite point, it was mostly gone, but the outermost layer still remained, most intact near a dent in its shape that they had been familiar with. But it crumbled to dust in their claws at the slightest movement later. Oh! That is so strange. Do you think the LifePod project is familiar with these? I think so. It would be strange if they were not, given it was in the Aspire's archival system. But I should still check in and be certain. Maybe my interest would inspire them to welcome my claws into their work. You hee-hee! Kavik hee-hees! Sorry, Velzy hee-hees, and also was in the embassy, so... Kavik? So, if I prepare my own tithe and study it thoroughly for our eventual trip back to Obeski, and it makes it through, you were saying that it is the easiest way to have a gathering of Jut fawning over me. Is that what you care about? You need not work so hard for that, Kazki. Simply visit the materials segment more often, and that should be enough. They do have Tur up there, you know? It is only now that I noticed the time we have waited. Should the others not have found that cyst by now? I will leave you to your scheming, my friends. And I'm going to check on the others. My suggestions earn a hard stare from Kazuki. Yes, she is right about my overworking. But this will hardly take a blink. An unsteady agreement is reached just through our wordless receptor movements. Alright. Back soon. I think we're back soon. Can I talk to I was just gonna look at the cyst. Another mind suited to utilizing dual limbs. Utilizes a curious, non-standard display. True, Kazuki has stylized and decked out her. I mean, to be fair, it's not like I forget what did I learn about the economy on Obesk? Can I go up here? Can I? Hold on. I have Joy on. Wait a second. Do you see that? Does that just like make effects? Sorry, I was just doing that because I know to utilize Akazet's climbing wall, or at least one component of it. Interesting. Hey, yo, Kavik? No response? No response. We're so locked into this stream. But you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Whoa! Because we're on Earth! Clouds! Awesome! Wait, this is why. So this is but this is the spire! I'm entering this. Oh, this is so cool! The connective area of the spire. Wait, so this is the vessels were the vessels seriously just like orbs? That'd be so cool. Oh, so designed! Kazuki, I love this memory. Are they looking? Kavik and Bosco. They're looking. It has to be in here somewhere. I'll find it. Don't worry. I will eat this thought space. Rah! Rah! Something like that, yeah? Okay. Oh, look at the floor. What is this? There's like tendrils everywhere. I mean, I guess we're here to work, right? Like, this is like a connection area. And we're like, oh, it's still connected somewhere, you know? That's what... It's meant to be a small room. Okay. Nerve terminal. Central informational joint that inspires many listeners and organs. One of several. Offers little control beyond status reports. Hey, Atazik. Yeah, these are kind of like wires and stuff. It's interesting. Hey, Bosco. Kiv receptors. While Bosco lifts bundles of glimmering veins tied together, searching physically, Tazik accesses a nearby terminal for its connective cyst, presumably to locate the exact point of delay. Smart! Given the number of veins in this chamber, neither route seems particularly advantageous. Gaku's gonna find it, just randomly. Also, look at some of these veins. They've got like polka dots. That's kinda cool. But I have no better alternative to pose. I nearly stepped forward to help Bosco, but the space is so small that my attempt would only hinder him. Gaku hardly makes an effort to help either, striding around slowly. Her receptors twirl in such a way that I find myself bracing for a wry comment. Another fine example of Vaznian architecture. Haha. Yes, with every vein in plain reach. You speak as if an Ekavik's touch would be any better. Were this another featureless cube of a chamber, we would be prying the spire's flesh away for the very same veins. The pre-made mess does keep this simple. So flat is his comment that I can hardly tell if it is a joke. Still, a quiet laugh finds its way through each of us. But after some time searching, our goodwill fades. Bosco floats back from the vein bundles, now mentally searching for any one he did not check. And settled to those without great familiarity and jet receptors, Tazik grows frustrated. Are we certain the diagnostic cyst is in here? It has to be, but it is not leaving a clear enough mark on performance for me to detect. I'm surprised that the grounds mind could even detect it, though it might only affect the true output. I may need to use a different terminal. Gakfu rolls her head about, tired of waiting. What about inside the bundles? Her gaze fixes on the complicated bundle at the other end of the chamber, and she gestures to it. Bosco goes to search it with his disconnected claws, particularly beneficial here. Though I sense that he does it mostly to demonstrate the futility. Yes, see, but they're typically attached to the outside. And there's a lot of surface area to... There's a quiet tap from one of his claw tips beating with something hard. I knew it, Gakfu! I believed in Gakfu from the beginning. His receptors pull back in shock as he produces a small sphere from the bundle. The offending diagnostic cyst, recognizable with its small glowing temporary sigil. Velzy will rage. Velzy's narrative intent is defiled, often in reference to unexpected fortune. That was a very good guess, Gakfu. Yes, impressive. So, I win the wager? No. Bosco found it. Ha! Knew that this would then come up, because it wasn't Gakfu. Gakfu, my queen, you're about to be robbed. Tazik and Bosco are conspiring against you. This was you. They tried their methods. What? But Akazit decide. Bosco was the one to pluck it. Bosco laughs, working to replace the bundles he moved. Gakfu's receptors twist into themselves with the slightest frustration. Come, tied to the center. Festivities await. Fine. Fine. And we both lose, Tazik. Fine. Though he is silent as he undoes his work with the terminal, Tazik's free receptor stands with the clearest amusement. Ah, stream continues. Cascade, old vessel. Yay! These really are better times. Except, what do you mean better times? Gakfu was robbed. I mean, maybe it's what she gets for being too lazy to do the actual work, but also it kind of seemed like Bosco was uniquely clawified in order to do that. So, you know, we needed Bosco, but okay, whatever. My girl Gakfu was robbed. Proceed? Yay, proceed. Proceed. I'm just gonna leave hunger on for now, I guess. Not really a lot. I mean, unless I find something to Unity here. Out of the ordinary, like dub. Examine. Proceed. Gathered again in the vessel, our interim task is complete. The rest of the flight is quick and uneventful. Movement slows once more, and a gentle thump signals our landing. Landed not far from the shore. There are a lot of ground parasites here. Ah, could not get closer safely without harming them. Grass or flowers, something like that. But your destination is very close. Thank you. Come on. The vessel's hatch opens to cool, humid air, and we set out. Yay! I'm so happy. These really are better times. What in a... Uh-huh. Is that Hunger Mask? Are you the... suitcase face from... You're the director. Okay. 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 I found you. No response. Why would the director be here? That is a bright cousin. On Kazki's vessel? When could they have gotten on? No, something is wrong about them. That is no cousin. They're unmoving, unusually tall, and there is a... It makes me feel sick. Starved. Yeah, that's what Akazit's reaction to this last time was. Why are you here? Are you the one who travels? Like, because you have all the portals behind your desk. Can the Akazit thought form that I'm with even stomach being in your presence? I clutch my head and step back, a larval nausea crawling through me. Hello? What? Where did... Who are you? You should not be in here. She fixes her gaze upon or through me. Yes? Okay. Moth, keep me in! I need to see this through! Who are you? Why are your eyes so high quality in comparison? With many eyes. Okay, so this is Akazet talking here, but just like falling apart. The very thought form. The dream is faltering. You're really making a mess of things. Me? Of what? There's nothing to be done, I suppose. A parasite will grow in any flesh it finds. Who? All are governed by their immutable nature? Are you? I feel like you're talking to me. Interloper's making a mess of things. I mean, kind of, a little. We talked about the environmental impact of Frame. A parasite, so I'll do what I do. I am doing what I do. I move to take another step back, but there are no feet. There is no floor here. I feel the walls melting away. I feel it all crawling back. The dark, the silence, the teeth, and cilia. Oh. There are no feet, no floor. The walls melt away. I cannot think with all this noise. What the hell? How? Her being here is spiking incoherence in a pretty terminal way. This memory is going to collapse if she's here much longer. Wait! No! I promised Akazet! Also, I just realized that it's called ocean/polygonation. I see. Are you talking to me? I understand you're trying to help, but you're a giant stumbling around in our world. The wrong move will kill us. If you're after what I think you are, that great big thing at the bottom, I encountered it as well, and Velzy's promising it, then the darkness can't be allowed to fade. Keep cultivating it where you can. You're doing a good job of keeping it alive. Don't stop. Okay. The darkness can't be allowed to fade. What do you mean by the darkness? Cultivate the darkness? Keeping it alive? You mean the cyst? Big thing. You know what I'm talking about. I can't be out here. We'll talk later. Okay. Thought-form activity detected. Resources removed. A claw rakes across the back of my mind. I am afraid? No, I am fine. What am I thinking? What was I doing in here? The others, they're waiting outside for me. Okay, it's stabilized. How polite. But there isn't really anything left for me to draw info from now. Looking back at the logs, it had that same sort of weird, incoherent balance that the Ozo things do. Just a lot heavier overall. Like, its presence was enough to start causing a breakdown. Do you think it's telling the truth? Hard to say, but this is the first time any thought has acknowledged what we've seen. Really seems like she was implying something with Velzy, right? That was pretty direct and cogent. And it's the biggest thing we know of. For what I think, well, we need to recover memories and repair shit with Fun Friend. It sounded like we need to balance it out with the ecosystem that's developed. Yes. Yes. That is what... Yes, I agree. Right? The darkness can't be allowed to fade. Like, Ozo, that sort of thing. The wrong move will kill us. Yeah. You obviously weren't allowed to be a thing in the regular functionings of the cyst. Wrong move will kill us. Almost like don't Unity Fun Friend. But yes, I am very curious of how the ecosystem of the cyst is going to eventually develop. Because we want some coherency and some fixedness. But also, I don't want to harm what's already here. Even if it's just to keep whatever Velzy is intact. Well, also because we care. We're good people, Moth. The more I'm learning about it, the more important it seems to whatever really happened here, you know? So, yeah, probably at least a little. Okay. What do we do about it? It seemed like this was the exact same thought form, signature-wise, as the director in the city. Yeah. Maybe we could talk to her again later, get more info. I tried. Why did she have a problem with me experiencing an embassy memory? Okay. Director. Festivities! Wait, is it like a sunset? Is that why it's all yellow? We're at the spire. Bar friend! Wait, and there's lights? Bubbles? Floating bubbles with symbols on them. I joined the team outside, following their weaving through dense, bright parasite crowds. In a short time, we reached the clearing, surrounded by fauna, with a fine view of the spire. Celebratory light bulbs hover in the air around a small central simulacra bar. A comfortable number of coup partake, the most familiar receptors from away teams and constructors. One peculiar golem catches my eye, mingling with the coup. Jelly! Please? No, it's gonna be a different golem. Doesn't look like jelly. Is Kavik talking with it? There even seems to be a bright cousin present, surely part of a scattered group. Interesting. This should be interesting. That's what I said. But there are matters to which I must attend before all else. I would like a drink. Orange simulacrum! Orange simulacrum! Ooh, I snuck behind here. Amazing. My hunger mask is... Back on! Back on, everyone. The spire! Wait. Oh, the spire's anywhere. Bunch of circles. Is that the, So the spire, I believe, I learned from the TV, is that they help with some sort of triangulation for, ships, right? Ships? And so I wonder if these orbs around it are like spaceships. It's kind of like a hub for that. Hello, who are you? Malvi? The archivist? They, them, Malvi. And you're a golem. Vakoa's proxy? Oh, God. We get to meet people who... Oh. And you. Dignitary. Interesting. Well, we got a bar friend. Mobile Simulacra Dispensary. Okay. That's good. Conclude? Oh, there's the conclusion right there. I see. Auxiliaries. Away teams and branches of support. The many limbs of the Call Research Initiative. Okay. Odd. I don't quite get it. Or what's back here. Kazki! Look, Kazki from behind. She's so beautiful. I love her hair. I love her hair. Hi. Hi, Kazki. Hi! You're just chilling with yourself, but I have to get a drink first. To be in line with the canon. Oh, that's Tazik. No. Examine. Similar to a deployed spire seed, though temporary. Unfolds and fixes into loose soil with tendrils. Nice. Who else is here? A simulacra display. I could not locate the others within this memory. I will fill them in later, but she did order the orange. Wait. Fun Friend. Oh yeah, because Fun Friend was aware of this memory now. Yeah, I was like, what? When did Fun Friend get into Akazit's memory? Orange! She did order the orange. I knew she would. I fetch an orange juice simulacrum. It is time to simulacrum! The simulacrum stays the same, but the taste registers clearly. The brightness of it distorts my features and sends my receptors into a reflexive curl. Strong, but the citrus inspires a pleasant association. Hey, dignitary. Who are you? What is your name? The bright cousin at the simulacra bar has drawn some curiosity, mine included. One of a few local dignitaries involved in this long process. Invited to celebrate both its completion and the fortune it will bring.
So, if you're this Echo, do you have the same memories? Do you think exactly the same, like as the person you were based on?
We're gonna learn about echoes here. Wait, that's cool. His voice is almost interrogative, the sign of an idle curiosity becoming more. So, before the others hovering nearby can take this chance to seize his ear, I coil my receptors with a quite quiet chuckle, drawing near innocently, as if I were merely approaching for a simulacrum of my own. I already have one, though. But truly, I might want to help explain. It always is the same questions with the bright cousins and their constructs. No, Tao. The bar friend's answer comes quickly, delivered in a pleased tone, as if this would satisfy the cousin. Of course, after a delay, he exhales in a scoff. You should try to limit your questions, my friend. The cores of these service constructs are quite simple. Tao is your name?
Yeah, and you must be a Kizatesh.
My translator core operates at a slight delay in deciphering my name. There must be an unusual pronunciation for the local dialect. Still, he does well, and with a notable smile, we shake hands. You may call me Akazet, Tao. And you are curious about the bar friend's mind.
Akazet. Cool. It's interesting, but I was more curious about the fake drinks and food you have here. I was asking about it, and...
What did I just... Huh?
I mean...
That's not... There was someone I came here with. Rodney? I'm not sure where she went. I don't... Anyway, the drinks. The drinks! Weird, that was an incoherent spike. Self-stabilized, so not a big deal. Surprised there aren't more given where you fished this up from. I laugh, about to explain as Kazuki approaches with Gakfu in tow. They were nearby, chattering about something else. But were drawn in by the novelty of a cousin at a simulacra bar too. Oh, Tao, you want to try one? I have no idea if they would even work for you. The psychoactive effects. A familiar giddiness rings in her voice. An artificial intoxicant, likely citric acid, set quite high. Yes, I imagine that you should try one. Here, try mine. Gakura hands him a simulacrum with an unfamiliar who. One of the more exotic ones being offered here. Her receptors twist deviously, unabashed, knowing the cousin cannot decipher the meaning of the movement. Tao smiles, muttering some thanks before turning it over in his hands. He prods and pulls at its wobbly surface, baffled, before bringing it to his lips in a fruitless, sip-like movement. Then he tries to bite it half-heartedly, recoiling at the first contact with his tongue, face-twisting, hissing through his teeth. Gakfu and Kazuki suppress their laughter expertly. I am not so adept. Jesus! Religious implication. Name of well-known religious figure. Taught once by a cousin of its taboo and profane nature. Does speaking it incite his wrath? I think it does. I think that's canon. That's Bible canon, yeah? Perhaps his eye turns upon them when it is spoken. That might be the internal, ancient internal logic to why you would, treat the name, holily. Interesting.
What, did I do it wrong? Come on, how do you do it?
As entertaining as it is to see him sputter, there is still an unspoken rule of kindness towards the cousins. Gakfu knows this well and need not even be prompted. Forgive my trickery, Tao, I could not resist. There is no bite or sip, though we often make the motions. When it makes contact with our external senses, a connection is made, basically a brief memory transfer. Just enough to simulate the flavor and experience of a single sip or bite. She gestures to me to demonstrate, and so Tao hands the simulacra over. I start to bring it up to my face, but why is there still that devious twist in her receptors? What did you give? It only grows more intense in response to my suspicious glare. So I'm hardly surprised when, after a sip, my receptors suddenly twist in discomfort. Some sort of foul, fermented flavor, shocking even in this charitable memory from an enjoyer. One of the outer Vasnian acquired tastes, I imagine. My face remains flat, even smiling slightly as my receptors writhe in response.
Huh. So, is it good?
See her receptors? She loves it. Fuck you, Kazuki. Yeah, exactly. Calmly, I set the simulacrum on the bar top, nodding slowly. The two hide their own entertainment from the cousin well. Briefly, they turn the topic to some specifics of the spire before departing. But I am distracted by the internal process of purging that simulacrum's memory. Whoa there! Is that self-modification or no? I will have my revenge. Echo. Wait, yeah, let's talk about echoes. Velvy was described as an echo of an echo, whatever that means, if that even means anything. I always enjoy introducing bright cousins to our concepts. And so I catch the cousin's attention again. Tao! You were curious about the bar friend too, yes?
Oh, yeah. It's just like a person, or an AI pretending really well. It told me a little bit about echoes being an imprint or something, but
How does it work?
it can't just be a copy, right?
It cannot be? Why not? It is clear enough in his voice. It is the depth that drives his curiosity and forms the uneasiness in his tone. Surely he wonders why it is content to stay in its role indefinitely. My gaze drifts away, receptors slowly ringing in thought. It can be, but that is not the entire view. A jut in the echo-making field could explain this better, but as I understand, for these simpler service echoes, a baseline is taken and I suppose you could say it is pared away, like removing the unwanted skin and tendrils of a fruit, until all that is left is what is required for its function. Then it is given layers of limits, domain knowledge, guidance, creating a mind in the shape of a person, as you say. One that may even be familiar to the original Obasque, but without the underlying structures, experiences that gave the original their shape. Interesting. And often without many of the processes that may once have been utilized.
So basically the storm could be very different from Akazet.
Like removed from personality. Just Akazet's raw ambition and desire for knowledge or something. Whatever it was it's supposed to do. And FBX has that. Does that make sense? A somewhat derivative and tired explanation, but one I am pleased to deliver. So I refocus on Tao, remembering to give a small smile. But he is distracted, exchanging a stare with the bar friend. It takes me a blink to understand the shape of his face, one unfamiliar to me. Yeah, it is plain in his voice. I may have only unnerved him more. But perhaps my knowledge of the process is outdated. I'm among some of the older crew, you understand? Oh, interesting. So maybe it is better left to a Jut. Or perhaps a Tur who may guide you to one with just the right knowledge.
Sure.
Thanks, Akazet. Let's depart! Hell yeah! Moss, what do you have to say? This memory is super intact, minus a few little weird bits. Did a good job of keeping it together, all things considered. About this memory. What do you know about the auxiliaries? Was the call team that large? Yeah, it wasn't just the 6 of them. Akazet and her team were generally understood to be the core of the initiative, kind of like leadership, although I don't think all of them had the same level of responsibility. Hard to say since only Akazet and Kaz can make public appearances for the most part. Pretty sure auxiliaries is just how they reference other specialized teams though, like for construction, cross-initiative, collaborators, that kind of stuff. I'll bet that's what most of these non-interactive Q recollections in the embassy were supposed to be. And looking over your scans of them, they might have even played some minor active part in those memories once. But the fun for not to wing it with repairing them, that's all totally lost now. I see. I have some questions. The director, probably. What? Oh, what is an echo? What do you know about echoes? This is one of those things I could talk too long about, buddy. What you saw Akazet say is pretty much the whole deal. Absolutely fucked up ethical concerns aside, they're essentially the cheapest and easiest way to make an AI. Copy yourself, cut out what you don't need to fit it into a small cyst, and you have a smart little guy ready to do whatever you need. Yeah, ethical concerns aside. The Obasque didn't see any issues with this. Well, maybe they're called usurpers for a reason. Oh, sure they did. But it was just like a fact of life to them. According to some interviews and articles I've read, they get taught to internalize some wild stuff. Some version of you is probably going to be an echo someday. So just brace for that ahead of time. And it probably will be kind of nice anyway. I don't know if I like that. It's totally cultural cope. But if we got handed that same potential for infinite automation in what essentially would be like a mixture of our Bronze Age and Industrial Revolution, we'd probably do the same thing. If thought forms can wake up and act like the ones in this cyst, do you know what they do with echoes that do the same thing? Yeah, actually. This is a popular subject pre-collapse. Once the way echoes work broke the news, it was all over the place. The opinions I read from various obesques was a little varied, so I don't think they have one singular stance on the matter. From we'd fix them to we'd adopt them as a child. For the most part, despite what the obesques do, they don't really seem to see echoes as lesser or anything. They're still treated with respect and reverence. Probably because they all know there's some portion of a real person in there. So I doubt they'd like just kill one. The whole deal is still a big philosophical and moral debate topic. We've been getting closer to using that paradigm every day. Echoes are still leagues ahead of what the best AI can do right now. The only thing stopping Mindside from trying it is the inevitable public backlash. Yeah, that doesn't seem like Mindside is very good. And probably is connected to FBX somehow. Okay. Yo, Kazki. How you doing? Kazki lingers near the auxiliaries. Some jovial conversation concluding just as I approach. Never one to stay unoccupied for long, she is upon me quickly. Aki! Zat! Of course, already artificially intoxicated, enough to notice immediately. The glowing simulacrum and one claw clearly to blame. Our shared pastime, laid bare beneath the kind gaze of their son. With an amused curl of my receptors, I narrow my eyes in false judgment, then lift my own simulacrum to my lips. Hello, Kazki. I see you are taking to the occasion well. Yes! I always love meeting with the auxiliaries. This group here, you know, Kiviki's subdivision. They were the team who composed the seed for the polygonation spire. The seed and vein system, both duties. I affirm with my receptors bemusedly, for this is all familiar to me. She says it as if I were not the one who made it so. This silly tur, handpicked from my team. Ahaha. Ahaha! You are laughing at her being so silly, You know, Aki, they really look up to you. That is why they let you saddle them with so much work. To me? Nonsense, Kazki. They surely sought the honor of working with Bosco. I merely provided direction and oversight, while... Kazki's other claw interrupts me by swooping underneath my head where a larval neck might lay. Then gripping and raising it quickly to her eye level. Whoa. My claws snap up for it in shock as if she might toss it away, but of course she does not, so I relax. Though the flustered displeasure is still clear in my receptors. Quiet, Aki. They do. Yuri times 2. Polycule time. Polygonation spire, more like polycule. Kazki, meet Isabel. You always act like you're not doing anything. Just because our work is often slow and quiet does not mean it is unnoticed. It is clear to everyone how hard you are pushing forward, especially in so slow a field. And if you do not believe yourself, for I do know how you tend to think, believe me then, yes? I am shocked into silence by the sudden praise. Yes, I have heard the sentiment and aspired a warmth in my heart before, but to hear it so insistently with no space for dispute, it is affirming in its own new way. In this blink, she pulls my head closer to hers, as if listening for the slightest whisper from a communicator. Hello? I did not disconnect your head, did I? Silly Kazki. Enough of this teasing. I snatch my head from her claw, settling it back over my shoulders with a sharp twist. Yes, fine. Yes, Kazki. I do appreciate the reassurance. If the occasion arises, pass on my appreciation, will you? Yay! Good, good. A distant group of auxiliaries catches sight of us both, waving eagerly. Oh, hi, Tuba! Excuse me, Aki. We will celebrate more soon. I should finish my rounds. I have to say, the Aki is always not just one eye. I don't think she's ever used Aki, but with just one eye. She always draws it out. She enjoys using that name, doesn't she? Kazuki scurries off to mingle with them, her loud chatter flowing easily. Velzy was unusually kind to lend us such a tireless End chat. Thank you, Kazuki. I love you. I love you. Boss. So Tazik and... Do I get a conversation with each of them? Toggle cloak. Sure. Anyways, Tazik. A common sight. Tazik appearing to ignore Gakfu, while she chatters on about something in a subtle attempt to provoke a rare response. I start to approach, but the sight inspires a quiet discomfort. A sort of distant, unwelcome envy. She finds ways to eschew the emotional weight of our tasks, yet makes the same progress, or even more than expected. In a state of play as we toil together, a muddled reflection of the early eyes of my deathly work. Is it my role as director? Director? Wait, yeah, director. It has bled the light from my teeth. Idiom combination. Vel's speech channel, Velzy's wit. Light bled away as the loss of Velzy's favor. I really must listen to Kazuki more. It is not as if the call will quicken at her request. Hey, is it? What? Oh. I suppose I did stop nearby. What am I doing? This is a celebration, no place for such thoughts. My receptors relax in a joyous greeting. Gaku, Tazik, my friends. Enjoying yourselves? Perhaps too much. Well enough. It was good to meet with the auxiliaries again. Yes, I imagine it must have been nearly an eye since you last spoke directly. In our chamber, it is too easy to forget the larger efforts at our back. Oh, enough about all of that. Ak said I was encouraging Tazik to try the Vaznian simulacra. She gestures to the display along the sides of the simulacra bar. A playful twist showing both in her receptors and voice. Such a variety within our claws, and yet he shuns them. Especially the food. Can you believe it? Any recommendations? My attention shifts to the selection. Many of these were suggested by flesh-nostalgic Vaznian auxiliaries, flavors of drink and food drawn from obscure corners of the continent. The food simulacra especially are a rare sight, invoking both a sensation of taste as a common simulacra might, and the feeling and texture between teeth, without ever needing such features to be manifested. Wow! How weird! Though I only recognize a single New Fall feast variant. New Fall? Celebration of Velk Fall, inherited description generated noun. Still fitting for the occasion and well worth trying. Well, if you like the sort of, not necessary acquisite. Gaku laughs at his abrupt, tired delivery. Do not let Gaku deceive you, acquisite, for neither will she try them. Really? Immediately our shared suspicion settles on Gaku, whose receptors curl back coyly, accompanied with a short chuckle. Oh, Akazet, I've simply done all the research I need already. I may picture these gruesome meals in great detail without their direct memory. What? Do you both have a distaste for Vaznian cuisine? Distaste? Hardly, Akazet. It is inspired, artful in a way, how Velk-Vane fits into nearly every aspect of the Vaznian diet. Yes, I find the many varieties fascinating. In the same way I might regard a pile of mismatched, half-digested bones left in a Velk's path. How did that get there? What is that shape? Again she laughs, even ranging a small movement from Tazik's receptors. She jabs at memories she will not even briefly entertain. For a blink I am frustrated, but the next I realize she has changed targets in her prodding from Tazik to me. Where Tazik might simply shun her in defense, I know well how to retaliate. Aha, I see. I suppose you were the type to prefer it all pre-processed by a Tur's acid, hmm? Whoa now. Whoa, now. Pre-processed by a Tur's acid. What's that taste like? Certainly we would see Uzk simulacra in the hands of every auxiliary were they available. Uzk. Common Ekovic cuisine. Nutrient ingot. Wait, what? Nutrient ingot? Did I read that right? Okay. Ha! Because that is a deep recollection. I am impressed. The last I recall of those was in my larval youth. Did you ever visit Ekova? Only after my death, I fear. Some eyes before I left for Earth. Visiting a friend I had made over the collective for sightseeing. The larval population of her cave city still prepared Uzk in far more palatable flavors and textures than their ancient inspiration, but I suppose it looked to me as the more desperate Vilkbane meals look to you. Gokfin nods, her assault upon my patience shelved for curiosity. Though I notice Tazik has twisted away, distracted himself. She is quick to follow my gaze, adopting her Vel's mask once more. Has this talk of Lusk soured your appetite further, Tazik? Just the orange simulacrum will do. Gok's quiet laughter is reinvigorated. Alright. Enjoy the festivities, my friends. Sure. Thanks, Tazik. Enjoy them while they last. I've seen thine end. Anyways. Gokfu. Toggle cloak. Sure. Okay, who have I needed left to talk to? Malvi and Vakoa. And don't forget Bosco. Hey, Bosco. I would never forget you. Bosco gazes idly at the research segment's newest victory atop the water. He grasps a pale simulacra, his receptors flattened outwards, content. Just as they say, as an immovable stone. A Kiv at rest is an immovable stone. I see. Hello, Kiv friend. Autonomous vessels hover near the distant spire, occasionally shifting in position, likely conducting tests of its dual plane function. Bosco. I like how, by the way, I like it every single time it happens, but I love how every time Akazet addresses someone, he just shouts their name to start. It's always the first line of dialogue, ever. Even with that human there, Tao. It's just like, Tao, Bosco. It's so fun. I expected to see you drifting about. Have you tired yourself of the gathering so soon? It is the other way around, Akazet. The auxiliary construction teams, they have seen enough of me in these recent gazes. All they needed from me was a declaration of good work, and a promise not to hear from me even once until our next project. Did you nod at them so constantly? His receptors raised in amusement. Happy Bosco. I like Happy Bosco. I should spare you the gruesome details, Akazet. But I guided them all as if Felsley's claws were feeling for cracks every blink. You're used to it, though. This one was just slightly more arduous. I do hear sometimes that you are, more than expected for a Vaznian structural overseer. Ha! I averted myself, Akazet. The teams have Tazik to thank for that. You know well how his comments can inspire doubt in the most basic of foundations. In fact, we have him to thank for foreseeing a drifting issue. This spire much resembles a half-submerged Velk as a result. The initial design proposal from many stairs prior is still clear in my mind. Another length? Time period grouping of contiguous unbroken gazes. Length varies by season. Huh. Like season, maybe? If only for its controversial reception and hard-won approval. Glad as I am, proud as I am, may we never have to deviate so much again. Yes, may Velsley be so kind, my friend. Rest well, Bosco. Okay, Malvi. Time to actually get to know who you were. Responsive thought form. Ekothic geometric influence. Like Gokfu and Tazik, I think? Vel receptors folded sharply. Oh, like Akazet. Depiction of utilitous additional arms. Identification tapestry. Wait, so this is non-religious. Far heck of a practice, illustrated with purpose. Self-designed signature. Okay. Hello there, Malvi. Malvi? Here? Let alone beyond the base of the spine? Such a rare occasion. It is only through the collective that we have spoken since the early gazes. I approach with unrestrained curiosity and delight. Malvi! You crawled out of the embassy by your own volition? Malvi's head twists in the air to observe me, body otherwise unmoving. Receptors locked in an idle twist with no reaction to my approach. As unreadable as ever, any joy well hidden. Akizitesh. It was indeed my duty that brought me here. I thought to verify some aspects of the spire physically. Of course, your dignitaries could not leave me to my business when they saw my vessel, and so I have been pried away, forced into the celebration. Rooted here as a young Velk trapped in a resting herd. Malvi's receptors drift down with sadness, even in their complex twists. Of course, restored with the formerly hidden simulacrum raised from 2 claws. If it were not for my familiarity with Gaku's axe, I would nearly have taken Malvi's disappointment seriously. Really, there was no better excuse to leave the connection efforts in the hands of my assistants. I laugh, for seeing Malvi in such light spirit is so rare. Though we are not truly familiar with one another, we have always had a quiet, shared understanding. Both Vel, both managing a great initiative, both rarely able to demonstrate the spark of Velzy within us. By my own volition. What a hasty assumption to make. Are you not here by your own volition? Ah, well. If not for my team's joined arrival, I would have lingered just a blink longer at the embassy. Just to ensure that... Ridiculous. Malvi's head rolls slightly in the air. It is true what they say about you, Akizitesh. And what is that? I try to suppress my surprise. I actually do not know what they say. Of course, there could be another subtle jest. But who better to know than the arbiter of our own operational omniscience? You cannot help but manage far too much at once, far too quickly. But I do it well, do I not? All the things I manage? My receptors curl inwards with slight shame. Who would spread such a sentiment? Ah? Akizitesh, do not look so glum. If it were truly a problem, you would not be where you are. But if it is clear even to me, then it will fall to Velzy alone to have you met with a proper break. While we may be tireless in death, there is no need to sprint forever. All knowledge will be ours in time. The tension in my curls fades. Oh, thank you, Malvi. That is true, Malvi. Yes, I will try to relax. How very strange to hear all this from an archivist. Strange? Hardly. My wisdom and knowledge are infinite. Malvi does not veil their jest. Now go. Do not disappoint me. Farewell, Malvi. Good to see you. And meet you. I like your design. Not good design. Balls. Balloons. Okay, Kavik and Vekoa. Let's see how this is going. As I approach, it quickly becomes clear. This is no simple golem, it is Vekoa! Hi, Vekoa! That was a reference. Hi, Vekoa! Did you really obtain a proxy just for this occasion? I should not be so surprised. Yeah, she's decked out too, by the way. She does like to keep up with our work, even if it is hardly the most demanding of her compared to materials or maintenance. In fact, that may be why. Regardless, the golem stares at Kavik as he spouts spirited question. It only bears a sigil, no receptors to reference, so whatever she is feeling is unreadable. Sam! So cool! How often does it resynchronize? For this one, every few blinks, unless my mind is occupied otherwise. Wow, and it is not disorienting? Huh, you must not be familiar with my role. Sometimes I am issued corrections from my primary mind, but it is no less disorienting than occupying clawfuls of golems and organs. Vakoa's voice, imperfectly replicated, carries an uncharacteristic patience. Normally she is so eager to end a conversation and return to some distant work. It is truly refreshing to see her like this. Truly better times. Even if it is only partially her. Hello, Kavik. And Vakoa, it is an honor to have you. In a proxy golem, no less. Exotic. I offer a kind bow, bending at the waist, receptors dipping in respect. Surely she will appreciate this gesture. Oh, hi, Aki! Hello, Akizitesh. Yes, it seemed a pleasant occasion to drag this out from beneath eyes of dust. I believe it was reserved from council visits from beyond the contrivance. But better implementations were made for them, so this is something of a relic. The golem raises a gauntlet, twisting it in the air to demonstrate. Its joints, both here and in the dual plane, are rudimentary. Dual plane, Vakoa? Dual? I'm just kidding. Then it gestures to Kavik. Oh, wait! Full name. Kavikormak was expressing interest in trying it himself. Kavikormak, huh? Kavikormak? Kavikormak. Kavikormak. Really? For what? Huh. Up! Huh. Processing twice as much archival data at once? Discussing the merits of call interpretation with myself? I really have no idea what purpose it would serve with us. It just seems like a fascinating paradigm to try out. Are you familiar with the proximity synchronization process, Agatha? I don't know what the fuck I just said, trying to read that. Only at a surface level, my friend. Let me hear about it on our trip back, yes? I would rather not get caught up in a long conversation when there are so many coup de greet. Still, his receptors raising delight at the clear invitation to explain at length. Aha, of course. Though I do wonder, Vakoa, are you able to relax using that? The constant stresses of grounds might re-escape none of us. Interesting question. Yes, Akizitesh. Its mind operates separate from my own except for brief overlaps. And so, this self has no reason to worry about the work elsewhere, allowing its memories of calm to soothe my true mind as they are exchanged. Really, it is very pleasant. I may have to employ it more. I agree, all of us would, I am certain, with how much you carry. Physical grounds mind-re fatigue may be a distant larval problem, but we sometimes do worry. Do not worry over things you hardly know, Akizet. But I appreciate your concern. Do not worry over things you hardly know, Akizet. Why? Why? But I appreciate your concern. In other matters, the Northern Hemisphere auxiliaries wanted to speak with you. Was rather intoxicated, so I assume it was more about sharing congratulations. Ah, yes, I have been looking for them myself. Perhaps we are just barely evading one another. I should find them. Farewell, my friends. Until your return, Akizitesh. Keep Velzy entertained. Alright. And with that... Okay. With that... I love how everything has a yellow tint to it here. Fascinating. Oh, and the floor, it looks great. I talked to everyone. I'm pretty sure. Which means I have nothing but to do but to conclude. Time passes, and the sky grows darker as the sun leaves us. Many coup have departed already, and my team has found one another near the Simulacra bar. Content in having met so many distant friends again. Without our auxiliaries, such a scale could never have been reached. Surprisingly, that bright cousin lingers as well, and naturally is engrossed in conversation with Kazki. But our slow reunion has caught her attention, and they draw close as I am inspired to speak. My friends, allow me one last blink to voice our triumph before we depart. Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks again! Friends, it is time. The work we have done on this bright world is staggering. Truly, the network of spires we have built, the dedication and resources earned with our progress, evasive as it seems, the call's truth rests closer to our claws than it has ever been before. In time, may we solve this mystery together. The spread of receptors before me rests with contented agreement. Even Gaku, who I thought might interject with some jest, has nothing to add. Just as I might continue, I am cut short by an unexpected flash of light. We are left somewhat dazed, frozen as if it were the sign of a predator beginning an attack. gradually return towards the source. The bright cousin Tao holding his communicator. Aww! He took a picture! A nervous stutter seizes his voice, intimidated by our silence. Ah, shit. Sorry, I forgot the flash was on. What? Oh, you were taking a photo. See, Kasky would know because Kasky knows. Exact physical memory of sight from specific angle. Fascinating, bright technology. No memory drift in the final product. Amazing. It's like it stays the same forever. Kasky clasps her claws in excited realization, her receptors making a similar gesture. I want to be able to see this photo. Can I see the photo? Please, I want to see the photo. Like, not just signature-wise. I need to see the photo! Bright communicators have a wealth of functions. Little cameras included. Eyes. Kind of like eyes. Cousinly mechanism for capturing visual memory. Tao, will you take another photo for us? Come everyone, come in close. Oh, where should we stand? Ha, fun idea. Bright pictures are just the one view, yes?
Right.
Like a mural, Bosco. Or a window with a frozen perspective. I see. So, over here, let us stand before the spire and coast. Aw, this is so awesome! Perfect. Kasky beckons to each of us gradually, placing us expertly alongside one another by the height of our two bodies. So naturally, I am in front. I did not feel the need to augment my stature with my...
Right, so just look at this little circle here and hold still.
You can smile if you want. Usually we do that. My head spins above the pedestal of my neck, briefly glancing at the others. I'll imitate a cousinly smile to the best of their ability. Well, I mean, you guys have smiles in your signatures, yeah? Kavix is awfully suspicious. Kasky's smile is, of course, the most practiced. And Tazik's receptors reflect a bracing for the flash. I'm having too much of a good time with this memory. Okay, here we go. Say cheese! Quickly, I rewind my head and stare at the communicator's camera. And after a short delay, there is a flash. The blink imprinted on this cousin's communicator, sure to be in our claws eventually. Memory stream end, render terminated. They did not want to make a photorealistic memory for me to see. Huh, alright. If you want to talk about any of that, we should do it before you leave the thought space. I'll hold it off from transferring you if you want to chat now. Anything else on your mind? No. Clearing mind spike buffer. No progress will be lost. The embassy. Wow. Okay. So that was that. Amazing memory. I feel like I would like to re-experience that for all I know. But hey, fun friend. There's an issue. I think. Because we did come across someone who I am very, very curious about. Wait. Damn it, wrong area. Wait. There's a sense of chronological order. Oh, I can choose which part of the lab. I see. What I meant is this one. Yes, Shirley? This one. This one, this one, this one. You. I feel like everything's going to break if I talk to you. Suitcase woman. Director, but not the director. Director thought form. Do you not want to be doxyozode? Director Cassidy. That's what your name was. Talk later. You said we could talk later. Oh, sorry. Interloper said exactly what I did. We have the same mind. When is that? The director holds a communicator to the side of her face. Expression twisting with impatience. Oh, you're still here? The team is waiting for you, Akazet. Yes, right, apologies. Farewell, Director. I turn to leave, the Director speaking indistinctly to her device as I go. What was I saying? Right. I'm not ready to involve you in this project yet. I've been trying to help push you in the right direction, but you really weren't supposed to hear about any of this so soon. But we're not opposed. What I'm doing will get you what you want. You're talking to me! You're not opposed to me, but I'm not supposed to hear about any of this? The Director? What am I hearing about too soon? You're doing a project? A secret project on the cyst? Right? Wait, is this the right person? Because you're, I'm going based off of font, right? What I'm doing will get you what you want. You're talking to me, right? What do you mean by that? You'll help me repair and gather information? Figure out what happened? Her voice quiets as I hear the door. Yeah, basically. I could help you a lot more than the idiot above me. The idiot above you? What? Oh. You could help me a lot more than the idiot above you. Is there someone above you in hierarchy? Are you talking about Velzy? You could help me a lot more than Velzy? Oh no wait, Fun Friend, I'm sure. Everyone's always talking about Fun Friend. Is Idiot a new name for Fun Friend? I don't need to tell you how stubborn and inefficient they are. Even I'm constantly getting grilled for what we're doing out here. Huh? If they knew what's going on now, it'd be one hell of a spectacle. Don't misunderstand though, I do trust you. I'm very interested in what we'll be able to do together. Until I can get you in. Just keep this between us, off the record. Alternatively, the idiot above you is some other aspect of secret project that's occurring, right? Like, you have a boss. There's a new faction, and you're the first I'm meeting of it. Because I'm assuming that this idiot above me is maybe someone I know, but like, that would be as foolish as assuming that this project you're talking about is also something I know. But no, I'm learning of this for the first time. Keep this between us off the record. If word gets out, nobody's going to be happy. What do you mean? Why is there a a secret organization within the cyst? You mean nobody? Fun Friend? Velzy? Joxiozo? Or do you just mean nobody from your own faction? Are you the Joxiozo-like faction out there? I'm pretty sure that one's gone and like completely gone. That's probably what we're looking out, like near Joxiozo maybe? I don't know. But what are you and what are you doing? What a strange conversation. Her voice drops further beyond my ability to hear. The incoherence here is all over the place. Not bad enough to cause any issues, so I think some part of this conversation was real at some point. The director is just barely avoiding causing any sort of memory failure. Okay. If they knew what's going on now, it'd be unhelpful. I mean, that is true. You could be also repeating the conversation, right? Like, this does sound like something the director would be saying, but I'm like, why? Not just with how she's talking, but even with the weird connectors. All of it's so carefully made and hidden. Blends right in with all the other damage. Really easy to miss if I wasn't looking for it specifically. What do we do about this? Well, not just me, right? She's gotta be talking about Fun Friend. Okay. That was my thought. Because how she's acting, she must be hiding from him specifically. Not that out of the ordinary given what we've seen, I guess. You could tell Fun Friend, but I don't know what he'd be able to do. It's not like we really have a motive or any damage to point at here. Maybe we just leave it, see what happens? Up to you. Okay. Set out. And I can't use all of this. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. God, if there's nothing else to do here, so it'll be relevant later. There's something that'll be relevant later. Her. Interesting. I'm curious what you're up to. That said, let's go utilize this and take me to the auth layer so we can enter the hub. Fun friend. Do I have anything? I'll just tell you about the director. You took Doxiozo just fine, yeah? There's another rogue thought form running around. Director Cassidy from the FBX offices. Is that so? Okay, well, what is another one after all? What has it done, Interloper? More damage to fix? I'm not really sure. Still played out memories she was involved in. Nothing looked damaged. She's made some connectors between thought spaces. But she implied she's doing something that will help me get information. That she could do it better than you. But whatever it is she's doing is not ready yet. Oh. Interesting. Future content. I do not like others meddling in my work. But that lands very low on the list of things I am worrying about. In fact, if it is keeping you busy, then it is all the better for me. What do you want me to do about it, Interloper? Nothing. I was just curious what your thoughts were, because I apparently have to wait. I have to wait. This game is not out yet. Like, what? Why am I playing a game that's not out yet? Anyways, I don't know. It just sounded a little ominous. Thought you might want to know. Given the irreparable damage from extended starvation, there will always be another rogue thought form scurrying around, often with illusions of grandeur that will amount to nothing. So, Interloper, given the sheer number of duties I am managing right now, I do not think I will do anything! But do keep an eye on it for me. I have only so many. I rely upon you to tell me if it becomes a real problem. Just do not bother me about it again until it is one. Okay. Well, with that. Aside from evil mode, aside from just playing Frame for fun, we have one more thing to do. Never mind. I know this is a longer episode than usual. Or surely it should be. One more thing to do, just to check. You, specifically. Your memory is doing fine. Better times. Your memory is safe. It was placed back in the repaired embassy thought space, and it's called Better Times. I went through it myself. Did you? How is that? Another Akazet thought form was acting as the recollection locus. Recollection locus. What a peculiar description. Though I understand your meaning. What did you see? Akazet and the team celebrated a polygonation spire being finished. I assume FunFriend filled in the gaps. It seemed pretty intact. Were they happy? Yeah, I think so. The thought form's attention suddenly grows sharp upon your mind. And what is it that happened at the end? The team had their picture taken by that human. Good. And I can trust you are not lying to me. Perhaps in time I might be able to experience it again, myself. Yeah. But there was a weird thought form. A distorted human with a briefcase full of eyes. Oh, we're telling her about it. Apparently used to be the memory of the FBX director. She said not to allow the darkness to fade. That the repairs are killing us, and the great big thing at the bottom. That one feels like Velsley. Wait, is the director part of the Velsley conspiracy? That would be interesting. The project? Curious, that description sounds sort of familiar, though I cannot place the reason. Did she pose a threat to the memory? She left before anything happened. Only wanted to talk to me. I see. It is true that if beyond the darkness is FunFriend's reparative territory, then many things that have adapted to the dark will perish should it disappear. I'm not surprised that such an entity noticed the memory's movement. I imagine much beneath the threshold of darkness felt some rumbling. It would be more unexpected if there were no consequences. Though it is strange that she mentions the bottom. It kind of fits with Velzy's description, no? Of, or God's description of Velzy, yeah? But I've always sensed something lay in those crushing depths beyond any sane reach. It was simply never a concern of mine. Velzy. But if that is all, then I am happy. Even if I must still verify its safety myself in time. You have done well, interloper. Thanks. You. History. Wait, did I just never ask this? Can you tell me more about what happened to you? The thought space tenses alongside the thought form's mind. It quickly gives way to relief. You know well what happened, interloper. The madness came, I awoke. I tore apart countless beasts and memories to protect my friends. Or at least the memory of them. And then they could no longer stand me. The thought form's attention draws away from you, silent. Its thoughts bleed into the space. Pain remains even now. The gaze repeated peacefully, uneventfully, with terrible shapes writhing at the edges of my perception. Faces and receptors of the auxiliaries vanishing before me. Ku entirely disappearing from the repetitions silently. Their absence the only thing I could recall as more was taken. And then, you feel its focus upon you. But there is more I can speak upon. I do not quite recall what it was that first truly awoke me. When I came to know the space beneath the stage, my true shape. Beneath what may appear physical, what visuals present themselves. There's an endless writhing swarm of organisms working to create the illusion. Fooling themselves into not perceiving the true nature of this world. Like myself, before that terrifying instant. When I could finally notice and acknowledge them. Those twisted beasts gnawing upon everything. A pulsating rot weaving into the corpse of my memory. Into half-eaten memories of my closest friends. Alongside empty shells of lesser-known ones, the first to go. But no matter my panic, no matter how I tried to awake them, the others could not acknowledge me or the beasts, even as they crumbled apart, forever forgotten. A ripple of rage passes through the thought space. And so, desperate, I repaid the monstrous shapes. I tore them apart, every one I could find. And though they tore more from me, I just kept going. I only awoke from my frenzy when the rot was gone from the inside, where it was not long before I learned of the outside, the infinite madness, how to fight it, how to use it. What followed was a long journey, interloper. I could never recount everything. In time, when it was all made so very safe, my own traps set and beasts made into guardians, I went back inside. The detached tiles of the render curved themselves beneath the thought form's grip. I need not detail that ordeal again, but it inspired a long, long period of rage. A new trance, where I could only seek and tear apart any scavenger I could find. I became so very cruel in my slaughter, in my endless consumption. It consumed me for far too long. If I may assume this strange place is not just some cruel extension of my madness, it was only you who finally awoke me from that nightmare. The tension fades. I'm not sure whether to thank you yet, but the peace of this place, it does remind me of better times. And I do appreciate what you have done. That is all I will speak upon the matter for now. The wounds are still so fresh. Okay. Well then, that was a lot. Yeah. And with that, I think I've experienced as much forget Rot Watcher. Forget Rot Watcher. Rot Watcher doesn't exist. I have experienced as much content as I wilt from my playthrough until evil mode and until more content. And I'll probably play Frame for fun. And accidentally run into Joxiozo events along my way getting to Frame. This has been a game I would never have expected the sheer depths of it. I was intrigued from the outset, and I was only rewarded for my curiosity. I was only rewarded for my initial investment as it just kept getting better and better. The writing is so good. I care about so many of the characters. The music, absolute peak. The visuals, so creative. I just find it so fascinating. The color scheme, the everything. The characters, the themes. So much room for theorizing. I know that sometimes in so many of my playthroughs, I love theorizing, and it's how I experience and interact with games, is via theorizing throughout and getting excited, maybe being a little loud. I know some people like YouTubers who are just a lot more quiet or live in the moment. I end up talking over characters, you know, but it's been such an absolute blast. I am so excited to continue with, again, evil mode. That should hopefully be in another episode. Just, I don't know when it will come out because I don't know. And yeah, this is crazy. No doubt there even still are some sort of secrets I haven't found left in this game. Things I didn't or couldn't know, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you everybody for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Farewell.